There have been some interesting changes in recent times in countries such as Japan, where there's been a change of government after nearly 50 years with the same government. It's too early to tell how that will change the relationship with Australia, but essentially our connection with Japan is so strong. We have a deep and abiding relationship. We are both allies of the United States. We both have common values and goals and aspirations for the region. So whilst it's too early to tell, I expect that the Australia-Japan relationship will continue to grow. In relation to India, we do have a challenge because of the tensions that have arisen over the Indian student experience here in Australia. And we must ensure that we can rebuild trust with India over our educational services. Australia's export of educational services is our third largest export, but it's not only about the export income, it's about the deep relationship that can arise from a student exchange. Indian students studying in Australia, Australian students studying in India, and so that is very important and should be the focus of our efforts. In relation to Indonesia, well, the ruling party has got back into government. That is good news for Australia. There was a very strong relationship between President Yudhoyono and Prime Minister John Howard. We hope that that continues. And Australia and Indonesia are working very closely on some regional issues, including terrorism, and that has deepened and strengthened our relationship. Australia should continue to recognise the importance of our relationships within Asia. We should not make the mistake of assuming that Asia is just one region. There are many different cultures, political systems, governments in the region, and it's important for us to develop bilateral relationships with the different countries within the Asian region. That can be done through individual exchanges, through free trade agreements, as well as Australia being part of some of the regional organisations and forums. And I think we need to continue to be involved in many of the regional initiatives, but never lose sight of the fact that we need to recognise the difference within Asia and develop our bilateral relationships as well as our regional relationships. I'm very sceptical about this concept. There is already existing architecture in Asia, and it's not for Australia to lecture the Asian community on how it should arrange its organisations and forums. There was a considerable breakthrough when Australia was invited to join the East Asia Summit in 2005, and we should build on enhancing our relationships with countries within the existing architecture. There are opportunities for other countries to join some of the specific fora. For example, India is now in the East Asia Summit. Perhaps the United States should also be invited and enhance that summit. Also, ASEAN and APEC are existing organisations that are able to adjust to different circumstances, and the different membership often achieves a greater outcome than trying to have a one-size-fits-all organisation that has been proposed by Australia. I think it would be preferable for us to work with Asian countries, consult deeply with them about how they would like their regional architecture to be arranged.